It's an honor and pleasure for us to be here. Normally we do speaking engagements, but after being referred by Dr. Credwell, who we do work with and use SF already, we're doing work all over the country because we see the returning cycle where it's going to be very important that each and every one of you engage. What I mean by that, we do have a video to show you how the Black Panther Party, number one, we took on the health issues of not only just the black community, but everyone. I was going to school, as many of us were, from community colleges to Yale University, to MIT, to UC Berkeley, and we all made a decision during that period of time of an ongoing work that was taking place, as well as the issues that confronted all of us, and the support that we had from our brothers and sisters from all over the globe, including Iran, Iraq, Palestine. We had students working together. It was truly a student movement. So this is the missing element that people don't know, that people who did it were young in your generation, took the mantle of whatever I'm doing, whether it's education or whether it's medicine, I'm going to make a difference. And many people who worked in that era went on to become Doctors Without Borders. The way the world is changing, what you do, what you learn, how you apply yourself, will be very important around the globe. The connection of what we see is an era of the idea of what medicine is supposed to be. It's supposed to be humane. It's supposed to be loving. It's supposed to be caring. So as what we did, when we do anything, I encourage you do it selflessly. Everything else will come. And in this profession, it is important. Right now, there is such a distrust. And I'm preaching to the choir of the medical profession. But you as students can be that link that can change that. 70% of black patients and people of color and working class people feel insulted when they go to the doctors now. We have a concept, one of the programs that we have in our network, and I'll just tell you a little bit about that also. One of our people is a gentleman by the name of Chris Amersall, who is a pharmacist, has a daughter going to UC Davis Medical School. He's not only a pharmacist, and he's part of the work that we do within our vast network. He also is responsible for the drug negotiating with the drug companies for over 15 million Medi-Cal patients. And he has a passion and love for the community. So we've created a program where it's what we call the Pharmaceutical Education Program for every generation. What is this doing to me? What does this medicine really need? What is metformin? What does it do? So we've been able to educate the community, no matter who they are. So when you go to your doctor, all of a sudden, they're put on notice. And also the recurring effects of continuous adding on prescription drugs that we're seeing. So preventative care has become big pharma. Take a pill. I don't want to hear about your illness. I don't care what the real cause is. I'll give you one quick example. A young man came to us, went to the doctor, took his blood pressure. Instead of the doctor asking him what's going on, how are you really feeling, he immediately prescribed him not one but two different blood pressure medications. So after we talked with him, found out there's some things that he was dealing with. You know, he didn't know whether his job, or they were laying off people. We see this commonly. In his job, he's in the tech industry. You know what's going to happen with his family. He was going through some other issues of, was he competent enough to do what he did, or his work that he's doing. So when we helped him resolve those issues and started talking to him and educating him on it's not you, it's how they want to make you feel. He went back to the doctor's blood pressure was normal, didn't need the medication. So, in someone in your profession that you're going into, and I say that because I'm hopefully speaking it to your lives, that no matter where you are here, or whether you go across the globe, and I can say many of the brothers and sisters that we had that worked with us, and my story is vast. It would take a while to tell that alone because the story of the Black Panther Party was very complicated and global. the embassy in Algeria, where we regularly meet with our brothers and sisters in South Africa, Asia, Europe, Central America, and Palestine, and all Middle East. That information is there. And it was a legitimate embassy. Our relationship with people all over the world who were fighting for their freedom, over 50 nations. But tonight, I'm going to be talking about how we influence the health industry. It was horrendous. The hospitals that existed in communities mimicked some of the living conditions. Holes in the roof, vermin, and hardly any care at all. As a matter of fact, that during that period, if your child was ill or got sick, you could go to emergency. But it would have to be a hospital that would accept it. So private hospital, you're out of luck. Good, perfect example, Charles Drew, Dr. Charles Drew, black man who came up with blood plasma. He died in front of a southern hospital, saved millions of lives because they wouldn't admit it because he was a black person. So after you go to the emergency, good luck on getting a medical plan that just didn't exist. So you went to a doctor, you're paying out of pocket, you get $100 a visit. If they accepted you, depending upon where they were and who they were and who you were and how they viewed you. So as we begin to look at these things in a major distrust and neglect, and we're seeing it slide back into that same parameters that it was before. So, as young people, at that point in time, when we saw something and bringing all our talents and skills, and it was really interesting because I would use the example, they say, well, how did you guys decide who was going to do what? It depended upon what you were doing on the campus at that time. Like all you guys would be setting up health clinics all over the country. How are we going to do that? Well, of course, part of our story, and we do have like an 8-module, 8-week class, like 2 hours, starts off with the original vision, the origin of the Black Panther Party, the survival program, 65, actually over 100. They were documented and researched by Stanford University, as well as UC Berkeley, and everything that you can imagine that affected the livelihood of communities here. And these survival programs were adopted all over the globe. For us, we cannot believe, those of us that are still active, cannot believe what is happening in terms of how people are coming to get that knowledge that has been kept from them. And the story that it was all of us. It was not just the black community, this is not just the Black Panther Party, it was everybody who looked like you in this room, who made up our minds. An attack against one is an attack against all. Even though we could not control the conditions and things that were happening around the world, the same genocide that you see today, we said what we're going to do is show the world how it's supposed to be done. And we're going to take care of our own here in America and give the rest of the world hope to see the examples that we're setting. And it worked. There were many battles won in this ongoing war for social justice and what we say human rights. You know, so the important aspect is I wanted to come tonight, and hopefully this will not be the last time, because we're going to be doing a lot with UCSFF. We celebrated the 50th anniversary of sickle cell, and the clinic was created because the Black Panther Party created the Sickle Cell Anemia Foundation. We tested tens of thousands of people even before the United States government did. You know the story of Richard Nixon? Horrible man. White House envy list. Everybody in this room will be on this list. Even if you just went to a rally or you was on the campus and you made a statement about everybody should be able to go to school. There's a whole attack on that, but that's another story. So all these things that we saw, that we participated in, that we were a big part of, we had made up our minds that we were all going to band together to make change. And because of that, everybody went in different directions. I had the opportunity to work with some very iconic people. I had the opportunity to meet everybody with the exception in America, Malcolm X, talked to Martin Luther King, the advice he gave us. when he told us, do like Muhammad Ali, do not fight an immoral war. That's where it started. So I wanted to take this time, and hopefully after we look at the video within a moment, you'll have some questions and comments. But like I said, I'm looking at the wonderful things that you guys are already engaged in. If you're on the teeter of what you should do, do it. It's going to make all the difference in the world. And when those children from the community see you, and yes, that's why Dr. Twigwell referred you guys to us. We're backing you 1,000%. We'll be there for you and with you all the way, because the city needs to know, the country needs to know the work that you're doing to inspire other people around the country. And you know what? You guys are following the tradition of the Bay Area, of UC Berkeley, and being innovative and always caring about the community. In the 2017, there was supposed to be a monument